We're taking back the word liberal. Don't be ashamed of it. And to be liberally buzzed, let's spend 22 minutes talking about trees. Happy holidays. And we have a toxic bill coming down the pipe that's pretending to be like Tom Amiano's bill, and it isn't. It's worse. You can't really grow collectively, and we wouldn't be able to grow collectively. And then there's another bill that is just another bill in case the other one doesn't work. It's a backup bill. So they figure if they put their money on red and black, one will win. So this is what, there's two bills about to be introduced that would dismantle Senate Bill 420 and replace it with SB 26. Lobbyists look to take down monopolists, lobbyists, look to take down Senate Bill 420 early next year unless patients stand up for their rights to collectively grow the herb for themselves. With well-known corruption going back to the prohibition in the 1920s in California, alcoholic beverage control, ABC, are poor representatives of the patient's medical needs. The Drug Policy Alliance seems to be guiding the medical cannabis community toward an oligarchy by taking away patients' right to collectively grow their own medicine. If you don't want to lose the right to collectively grow, please write to Representative Jones Sawyer, and he is going to put this toxic bill forth, one of them, SB 26 is, and I've got it on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you can get to it there. It would prohibit patients to grow collectively for themselves. And this is a video of our Access dinner we had the other night where we gave a lot of news updates, and I hope you can watch the video if you missed the dinner. It was good. It was a good dinner last night. And there's also a place where you can sign a petition and or actually write the guy a letter. There aren't petitions. You can write to Representative Jones Sawyer and tell him that you don't think that they should monopolize the medicine. It's for everyone, and patients who are sick, how can they can afford to collectively grow, especially in an urban setting. Not everyone has a backyard. So, and the Drug Policy Alliance likes Senate Bill 26. They, the alcoholic beverage control would be basically controlling there were 8 permits, 3 of which were owned by Spark. Spark is a dispensary right next door to Axis of Love on 1260 Mission Street, and they, here's a side note, they were not able to get their second permit. Well, we didn't show up for their hearing, did we? We show up for hearings, just not that one, and their reasons why will become apparent. They're actually told dispensaries that gave away medicine that they would shut them down, and they make good on that, it looks like to me. Looks like that to a lot of us. And so the alcohol beverage control, really, alcohol is not a medicine, is it? I mean, maybe you could get a bullet out if you drink some of it. It helps when you take cough medicine and things like that. But actually, they're bent on privatizing the herb, basically, and they don't even talk about what to do with seeds. I mean, you don't even hear about what people want to do with them. A few of the if we have a few growers, then we'll have a monopoly, and we'll have lower quality medicine, because the better quality medicine comes from small growers who, and rather than 27 small growers, have like boutique strains and things that they mom and pop, love and care to their plants rather than a big giant Monsanto type monster operation where, anyway, the plants don't get as close attention. And see, the alcohol beverage control has gone back a long time in California, like the email I sent to myself said. So lobbyists, see, the agencies would have say-so in who grows cannabis. So that means the lobbyists will control the agencies that allow people to grow cannabis. So we really need mom and pop growers. I can't overemphasize that. Mom and pop growers are really the future of fair and egalitarian cannabis politics, really. If only 8 people can grow for more than one person, 8 permit holders and are granted a permit to grow, and then if you go to a permit appeals board, there's no oversight on the appeals board either, so that's just worse than the other one. They're just coming up with worse and worse laws for us, and we gotta get to Sacramento and fight this. So we have a call, I'm thrilled, to talk to Shona Gokenauer. Is that you?
That is.
Oh, how lovely to hear from you, my dear. This is Shona Gokenauer. She's the patient advocate and educational director of Axis of Love, SF, who advocates giving away free medicine. We're also the 5% coalition that want to do like Berkeley and have 5% of medicine given away by dispensaries who actually make millions and millions if they can afford to open more and more dispensaries rather than give medicine away. So that's an intro, Shona. So let's take it away with the cannabis proposed SB.
Your voice is a little soft, so I got most of what you were saying. I'm calling in today mostly to talk about Assembly Bill 26.
Yes.
And the first thing I want to say about it is the press info about it is all wrong. They have kind of pushed it as the same as Tom Amiano's bill from last year, and that's a far cry from the truth. This bill actually has components in it that caused our former representative Tom Amiano to pull his support, and one of those key elements that he pulled his support from last session was the fact that this includes a cap, so a limited number of outdoor cultivation statewide as well as indoor cultivation statewide. And this would really destroy many small and mid-sized family businesses and collectives that have been law-abiding and actually serving the medical cannabis patient. So it's very much throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
So they're creating a monopoly for themselves. And
oh yes, indeed. The lobbyists are definitely not only lying to the general public that this is something that Tom Amiano would support, but they're going to bat for their clients and making sure that patient advocates and small businesses don't get into lobby directly with the sponsor. So there's corruption going on. There's a lack of understanding of what the patients of the state deserve. And their concept of creating some type of analysis of how much cannabis the state needs is just felonious. You have no idea, no way to gauge how many people are going to get cancer next year. And until you can, you need to sit down and shut up, because right now we have a very good system. SB 420 is a great law, and I think everybody needs to look at the intention of this, which is to make new crime so that they can make more cannabis arrests, which is stepping backwards. We need to assure that we'll have 0 cannabis arrests.
Well, 25% of people...
We're confused as to how we can, arrest and prosecute our competition. It's the lobbyists getting in the back room with law enforcement.
Hello? She was talking about the lobbyists getting, their foot in the door big time and call back, Shona. Please call back. You got disconnected somehow, so I'm sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. But, see, she was on to that, and she wanted to tell us that the Drug Policy Alliance, like Assembly Bill 26, I guess it's Assembly Bill. That's Reginald Jones Sawyer, Assemblyman from Southern California, and he just must have. I don't want to say throw stones, but he might have taken money. Who knows? Let's go through some of the Twitter, because the Twitter was about this subject. I wanted to I had some funny tweets, but, oh yeah, well, instead of torturing people, no, we had a harm reduction dinner, and you can find out everything she had to say in this phone call is probably on this video as well. So I don't want to play the video for you. You could, if you're interested, you can watch it for yourself. We want to be aware of the 1%ers who are criminalizing basically our industry. It's not an industry. I mean, their industry. That was our harm reduction dinner we had last night, and we had lots of patients and just community members, non-patients alike, come and share dinner with us. We had ham and, a holiday dinner. Everybody, well, we don't invite the public anymore. It's just not possible. But we had a lot of community updates about the cannabis community, like anti-clustering laws, keeping other dispensaries out of the certain areas like the Excelsior. They've been denied permits. And you can find out all about these things on this video with Shona Gokenauer. She gave a great presentation last night. It was just incredible. Now this fella, he's going to be on a future show, Mike Murphy. He is dedicated to a lot of things, really, and right now he's trying to prevent toxic tire waste from being spread out in the soccer field.
Okay. Well, I think that the point that I left off on was the alcohol beverage control is also proposed as the regulators of medical cannabis, which is pretty outrageous, seeing as some of the prior sessions, law enforcement themselves stood up and said, why would you have ABC governing over medical cannabis, especially with their legacy of corruption in California? This in and of itself should alarm everyone. And the simple fact is, why would you have alcohol beverage control regulating medical cannabis? We can see that maybe for adult use, but I think when we're looking at medical cannabis, we're looking for medical quality. We're looking for a minimum standard of care for the medical cannabis patients, not just lab testing, which is in there, and I think that's important to a certain degree.
Make sure there's trichomes on the medicine, yeah.
Yeah, I think having a standard in health, making sure that there's not pesticides, but also equally ensuring that we don't have growers out there abusing our beautiful land in California.
Oh, yes.
We can't have people doing the wrong thing out there, and shame on the cultivators that are polluting our waters. That's just not okay, and there does need to be industry standards on that realm. But equally so, we have to make sure that the medicine is affordable, and if not free, for those who can't afford it. So putting the ABC and a few cronies in there to sort of go out, and they can also deputize people to go out and harass other business operators.
Oh, yeah.
Then that's really scary. You do not want to give up these powers of democracy to the ABC and a few hand-chosen, rubber-stamped guys from some monopoly of 1%ers.
And once they get the power, they don't give it up easily. And when they have the power, it's easier to hang on to it. When they, have the cannabis herb has a huge potential for money making. They're just salivating to get their cloven hooves on it.
Correct. And the funny thing is, last session, if you read the committee report as to why it was the last bill was kind of put in suspension, if you read their analysis, they basically said you have such to put a limit on everything to corner the market, and it's such, pardon the pun, but white male short-sighted thinking. What we should be doing is looking for reciprocity with other medical cannabis states. California grows the best outdoor medicine in the world, second only, or in line with only the country of Afghanistan. So if we want to actually move forward with California's program, We need to look into reciprocity, not limiting our program and actually bringing in
Google corruption in California's ABC, you will get pages of corruption charges against this particular agency. And when the lobbyists first tried to do this, law enforcement actually got up and said, "Are you kidding me? The ABC is so corrupt." So you know, if law enforcement enters into public arena at the State House with their comment being, "Are you kidding me? ABC is so corrupt," we're not headed in a good direction. Not in a good direction, you know, there's nothing good about that. That's only the first thing that's bad about this. The second thing is really bad for patients, just access to good medicine. Do you guys remember the days when we used to talk about a strain called Pretendica? Does anybody remember those days?
Yeah.
Look good, smell good, didn't do a darn thing, right? How many people recently have noticed that the genetics in our medicine are kind of
Bunk?
bunk? Yes. So what they want to do, and this is so scary, is they want to have law enforcement, private agencies, which means probably lobbyist firms, being able to have input into how many legal cultivation outdoor projects we're going to have in California, as well as indoor projects. So that means the biggest good old boys are going to grab those state contracts, and the only legal medicine that will be, will be allowed to have will be made by, might as well be big pharma, might as well be big pharmaceutical. You don't want that. You want all your mom and pop growers, because that's where we get the boutique good medicine. That's where the plants have actually had time with human beings. You know what I'm saying? And so for patients, it's really bad, because all we'll be able to legally get will be this factory medicine. It'll be really bad for all of the indoor boutique growers who may not make the cut. The cut will be a very small percentage. Last round, they tried to do this. So I got on the phone to our health department, and I said, please send me the information of how many legal registered cultivation projects do we have in the city of San Francisco. Now, we have about 27 dispensaries. So my thought was maybe we'd end up with 27 legal grow sites, and it wouldn't be the end of the world. It wouldn't be a good deal, because probably each dispensary you go to probably has anywhere from 300 to 400 vendors that go in and out of it, you know, during a month that bring the medicine, right? So that would be cut significantly. Their response to me, the health department's response to me was, Shona, we only have 8 registered. So if they had gotten this bill through last time, you would have 8 registered cultivation sites, 3 of which would be belonging to Spark. Anybody had the medicine from there?
No. It sucks.
Okay.
I've never had it, but I know it does.
So that would leave only 5 other independent sites. We don't know who those sites were, but still, that's really unfair to you guys. We need good medicine, especially if we're in pain. You know, you don't want to go and spend your last, I'm going to say $45 on an eighth, but I know that many eighths are much more than that. But let's say it's your last $45. It looked good, it smelled good, you got it home, and it did nothing. So it makes no sense to put a cap on cultivation in California, especially because all these people right now are legal, they're law-abiding. So you got 2 really bad things going on. You got the ABC, and you got a cap on cultivation indoor and out, and then you have the dismantlement of what we call SB 420, which is how We are legally able to grow together. So that's how a lot of us that receive compassion get compassion, because we're in small collectives with our friends, with people that care about us, etc., who are able to give us some surplus medicine to share, with our lives and make our lives better. They would make that only legal if you're just growing for yourself. So if you have one plant and you're just growing for yourself, or you have a primary caregiver. Now, a primary caregiver is not someone like me. It's not even someone like, there's almost nobody that fits that definition. You have to be providing housing. You really have to, unless you have a sick uncle or aunt at home who has cancer that you're taking care of on a daily basis and you're growing the medicine for them, then you're a caregiver, okay? By state definition, legally. So when you dismantle SB 420, that means that if this goes through, and gets put in practice a year from now, this won't be happening. That means everything that you sign up for, that you get free medicine from, will not be happening. It will not be legal, especially if there's a limit on the number of permits that are available at the state level. Now, when I was talking to growers and other people this last week about this, they're very clear that what's going on is a monopoly play by the good old boys. They want to grab this market, they want to corner it, and they only want their names on it, and they want to make profits off of patients' backs, which also means that the price goes up, and the price should come down with regulation, So this is a really scary bill, and it's called AB 26.